Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. This is an accumulated haul video, mainly of witchy items. Some things are related to tarot decks, like my knitting, so I included that in the video. I'm including it in the video too. I finally have an area to put my decks. The other day, my husband and I went to the thrift store and there was a bookshelf. So it looks like the bookshelf that I had when I was up north, but I still have it. It's in storage. Now I have another bookshelf aside from my one that I use for my herbal books and witchy books at the bottom. They're sectioned off. So I'm so happy about that. It's nice to see what I have, and I want to reach for more decks now because I don't have to dig into a box to find my decks. While we were there, my husband also got me a jewelry box. He picked it out. This has my everyday jewelry and some sentimental pieces too. I have a couple of decks here, which I'm happy that I get to cross out decks that were on my list. One of them I've had on my list for a couple of years, but I mainly use my animal cards and my medicine cards and my Animal Wise tarot. So I picked the Spirit Animal Tarot. The book is nice, and I like using this for daily draws and meditation. It's my first deck that has this type of box, so I keep the cards in here still. I love the coyote on here too. I definitely connect with it because I do have a coyote woman tattoo. It's from the Daughters of the Moon card, or Daughters of the Moon deck. I tend to like laminate cardstock on some of my decks because I can be rough with them. A lot of them that I have look worn in, and I can bring them out into nature. And what I really love about this deck and why I picked it out at this time, it felt like the right time because I've experienced different ecosystems, and with that there are a lot of water energy in this too, which I know the Animal Wise has it as well, but I feel like it mainly focuses on known North American type of animals, and that's definitely for the medicine cards too. It's ones that are more remembered, I suppose. But one of the cards, or two of the cards actually, that I really love are the tiger. It's the King of Wands, which is the guardian of branches. Tigers are my husband's favorite animal, and he's a Leo. And for my card, I'm a Libra. Is an ibis, and ibises are common here, but I've always loved the deck. I love the whale too, and otters. In storage up north, I have this photograph of an otter, and it's laying in the water, and it's my favorite picture I just didn't bring it. But I'll have it hopefully later this year. And the Coyote's a Fool in here. And Ibis, Nurture of Feathers. Sorry it took a while. I usually see the white ones though. So I'm glad that I'm able to use these cards because I have animal decks that I love. This is my meditation deck for animal energy. The colors are dreamy too. So another deck that I crossed off of my list is a recent one that was put on my list. So if you watched my other video, I posted a video response to Lavender Moon because she had this deck and I love the imagery of the deck, but I didn't order it because I'm not ordering decks from Amazon right now. I'm just, if I want a deck that's mass produced, I'll go to the bookstore or a local metaphysical shop, and they're pretty lenient on the types of decks that they have and what you can order in if it's not in inventory at the time. And I'll order vintage or self-published decks if I want to order a deck. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I didn't get the Goddess Dream Oracle, and that video response was choosing a deck that I love that I can use Goddess energy, and specifically the Morgan. So I finally got this Goddess Dream Oracle. It was actually in a metaphysical shop that's a little further away from me, and they update their stuff pretty not too consistently, but enough where you can see a bit of a new selection. So I loved the imagery when I saw Lavender Moon's video, and the guidebook has colored pictures and nice meaning to it. This was the card that I first read about. I just went to a random page and I got it, and then I shuffled it well and I still got the card. I love the energy to it. This deck was a bit heavier along with the next deck that I'm going to show, which is a tarot deck, and it reminded me of the energy that I had with the Forest Oracle and how it was more of a healing process. It reminded me of the North and my experiences, and it was more heavy-hearted, but as soon as I addressed it, it lightened up immediately. So I'm going to use this for not daily draws, but I do have stretched out draws where I meditate on certain cards at a time. I'm still meditating on Charoite from my Crystal Oracle, and this card stood out to me the most because I am a Libra, and also I have an owl with the Libra symbol on top on the side of my arm. So that was one of the cards that I fell in love with. Then I love the foxes. It's my fairy counterpart. And I get super happy when the Morgan's featured in a deck because it doesn't happen most of the time, but she does get featured, and some relate her to Morgan Le Fay, and I can do that. It is a bit of a stretch for me though. This definitely reminds me of springtime, and we have been doing some spring cleaning. As you can see, it's a bit more open in here because one of the boxes were carrying my decks. I also got a feather from the store. And going with clearing out stuff and changing the energy a bit, I got a feng shui protection charm. So the next thing I want to show, I'm going to hold off for my next tarot deck for a bit. I got this cable book, which I've wanted. I actually saved it on my Amazon, but I didn't go for it. This has a lot of information. I heard there was one pattern that was incorrect, but there's 94 patterns in here, so I feel like it's well worth it. And I love how there's charts to the pattern too, because those are my favorite. I'm not doing a cable knit right now, but I do mainly cable knitting because with crochet it's versatile, so you can do a lot of stuff, but I prefer the cables when they're knitted opposed to when they're crocheted. So I said I was going to do a plain swatch of the variegated yarn, and I'm loving how it's turning out. I do have a bird deck that I'm using this for. So I put my tarot deck that I got in here. This was made by Mary Bow. I love it. It was actually housing another deck, but that's in my trade and sale pile. I'm thinking about doing a preview of that because I am going to post that video late May. So it's the Everyday Witch Tarot. I held off on this for a while. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it, but I felt like it was calling to me in a way where I was at the shop and it was like the Morgan was telling me that I had to get it because I put it up for hold and it happened so quickly, especially with what happened the day before. And I went to go to the front desk and I wanted to carry it around to see if I would see what other decks there were and if I would switch it out for something else, but the person up front actually said that they would just hold on to it until I was ready to purchase it. So it was pretty direct with that. But that was during the time when I got the Spirit Animal Tarot. So I love this deck. It's actually a strong working deck for me. And I was thinking about the Queen of Wands in here because it is a different depiction. This deck is definitely more airy, more direct, especially with the wand energy. You see it's more concentrated. The lines are finer, definitely detail oriented, especially with what it includes in the imagery. And this deck is one of the first decks in a long time where I felt called to do my monthly readings again. It's going on my other channel because the working deck that I had, the main one, I don't have anymore. And I felt like until I got this deck that other decks weren't going to be for my monthly readings. But this is excellent for when I have multiple cards out. It reads beautifully. And I love how the black cat's in the back because it reminds me of my late cat Kiki, also with yellow eyes because I usually look for that because she had yellow eyes. And this just feels like, again, with heavy energy from being up north, but then accepting it and ending up loving it, was because I feel like I've experienced a lot of the imagery. And this is replacing my Book of Shadows tarot, which I wanted for like more of an everyday experience, but this is definitely one, especially experiencing growing up learning the craft. Because the artist is from New England, and so that's one of the main connections, because the imagery just looks like it would be imagery from New England, which is what I love. And the Book of Shadows is a nice deck too, but I feel like it's more premature. The imagery seems like imagery from younger childhood, and I wasn't practicing at the time. So this deck has so much to say, and I'm glad that I'm doing my monthly readings again. And I paired this deck off with a deck that I got, or that my husband got me a while ago, which is the Magical Unicorn Oracle cards. So I get along with the Doreen Virtue decks that I have. This one, my Oracle of the Faery Oracle and the Angel Oracle. My deck boxes are up there, but it's covering the name, are the ones that I love because they're straightforward. This one's straightforward too, but it also has a phrase at the bottom, or a meaning at the bottom, and it's not too much where it's a whole paragraph. So this deck is in a way replacing my Faery Oracle because of who gifted it to me, but my husband gifted me this one, and it's perfect for my final draw for my monthly readings, because the Faery Oracle is the main deck that I was using for that. I actually put my heart cable case with this deck. The last thing that my husband and I got for us is the so just to say that it's going to be loud. So he got us a wind chime. This is the Pachelbel Cannon Chime. Sorry. So we're going to put that outside. But if you guys want to see a preview of decks that I'm putting up for trade or sell, then you can let me know. And going back to the Everyday Witch Tarot, I love how there's cats in all the pictures because I love cats. I feel like I went a little overboard when I moved out of the house and I got a bunch of cats. Oops. Definitely a full house or a full apartment. But this deck reads well. And the first card that I pulled out when I realized what the energy was, because it went with the Forest Oracle, and the Forest Oracle is imagery of New England nature. The forestry, and then the ocean oracle's the ocean part of it. So, I love the deck. And being that the Three of Swords was the first card that popped up when I realized what it was, this deck is pretty blunt. So I love how quick it could read and how honest it is. Sometimes I have to find ways to say stuff nicer because some stuff that comes out, especially when I'm doing my monthly reading with it, it can be it's definitely more of a direct answer. So I can do another video on it. I have things that I want to do videos on. So this is a card that I experienced too up north. And the card that associates with this deck is the Two of Cups, because I asked if it was going to be a soul deck, and it is. So this deck and my deck are going to be the main working decks. So that was my haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry that was jumbled up, but I was excited to show the stuff. I'll see you in my next video.